the cloud, who wanted to touch the sun. Once upon a time, high above the rolling hills and bustling cities of America, there lived a little cloud named Nimbus. Nimbus was not just any cloud. He was a daydreamer, a thinker, and above all, he was curious. While other clouds drifted lazily across the sky, changing shapes and playing hide and seek, Nimbus spent his days gazing at the radiant sun, wondering what it would be like to touch its golden warmth. Every morning, as the sun rose, painting the sky with hues of pink and orange, Nimbus watched in awe. The sun seemed so far away, yet so inviting, like a distant treasure glimmering atop a mountain of light. Nimbus would float higher and higher, stretching himself as thin as mist, hoping just to brush against the sun's dazzling rays. One breezy afternoon, Nimbus confided in his friend, Whirl the Wind. Whirl was playful and swift, carrying seeds and kites, and even whispers from children below. "Whirl," Nimbus said, "do you think I could ever reach the sun? I want to feel its warmth, just once." Whirl spun around Nimbus, ruffling his soft edges, and laughed kindly. "Oh dear Nimbus, the sun is very, very far, but dreams make us lighter. Perhaps if you truly wish, you may find a way." Encouraged, Nimbus decided he would not give up. The next morning, as the sun peeked over the horizon, Nimbus gathered all his courage and called upon his cloud friends. Puffy, Cumulus, and Misty all listened as Nimbus shared his wish. Some giggled, some cheered, and others simply swayed in agreement. "Why not?" said Misty. "Let's all try together." So, with cloud friends in tow, Nimbus began his journey. They rose higher and higher, past the tallest trees, the highest mountains, and even above the flapping wings of birds. The air grew cooler, and the world below became a patchwork quilt of greens and blues. The sun, meanwhile, smiled down, growing ever brighter as noon approached. But as Nimbus reached the highest he could float, he noticed something strange. His cloud friends looked thinner, and his own fluffy body began to wisp and fade. The closer they got to the sun, the warmer they felt, but it was a warmth that made them lighter, almost invisible. Puffy looked worried. "Nimbus, if we go any higher, we might disappear." Nimbus thought deeply. He didn't want to lose his friends or himself. Suddenly, he remembered the stories the elder clouds used to tell. Clouds bring shade, rain, and dreams to those below. Without clouds, the world would be very different. Nimbus paused and drifted slowly down. As he descended, the warmth faded, but his fluffiness returned. His friends followed, giggling as they regained their shapes. Nimbus realized that while the sun was beautiful and bright, his place was with the clouds and the world below. That afternoon, Nimbus noticed the children playing in a park, looking up and pointing at the sky. "Look!" they exclaimed. "That cloud looks like a puppy, and that one like a dragon." Nimbus smiled, reshaping himself into wonderful forms: a heart, a castle, a sailing ship. The children laughed and imagined adventures among the clouds. Nimbus understood then that even though he couldn't touch the sun, he could bring joy and wonder to everyone below. And that, he thought, was just as magical. But the story doesn't end there. One crisp evening, as the sun set behind the hills, painting the sky with gold and lavender, the sun spoke to Nimbus in a gentle, glowing voice. "Dear Nimbus, I see you and your friends every day. You may not touch me, but you carry my light in every silver lining and every drop of rain. Together, we make the world beautiful." Nimbus felt proud and happy. He realized that sometimes the most wonderful things are not about reaching the farthest stars or the hottest suns, but about shining where you are with those you love. The next day, Nimbus drifted along, making shapes for the dreamers and shade for the weary. He watched as the sun rose and set, always bright, always far, but never lonely. For Nimbus had found his own way to touch the sun, by spreading its light through every cloud, every raindrop, and every smile below. And so, Nimbus and the sun continued their dance across the sky, each in their own place, each shining in their own way. Nimbus learned that dreams can lead us to wonderful discoveries, and sometimes what we find along the way is even more special than what we first wished for. Years passed, and Nimbus grew to be a wise elder cloud. He shared his story with every new little cloud drifting through the sky. "Never stop dreaming," he would say. "Even if your dreams change, they will take you on marvelous journeys." The little clouds listened with wide, misty eyes. Some dreamed of touching the moon, others of riding the wind to faraway lands, and some, like Nimbus, simply wanted to bring happiness to those below. One day, Nimbus met a tiny cloud named Spritz, who was as curious as he once was. Spritz asked, "Nimbus, do you ever wish you could still touch the sun?" Nimbus chuckled, his edges sparkling with sunlight. "Every day, Spritz, but I've learned that we all shine in our own way. The sun warms the world from above, and we bring shade, shapes, and rain to help everything grow. Together we make the sky a place of wonder." Spritz smiled, feeling proud to be a cloud. He joined Nimbus and the other clouds as they traveled across the sky, bringing rain to thirsty flowers, shade to napping kittens, and magic to every child who looked up and imagined. Sometimes, on especially bright days, Nimbus would float just a little higher, feeling the warmth of the sun on his wispy edges. He'd remember his great adventure and know that in a way, he had touched the sun by sharing its light with the world. And so, the clouds drifted and danced, carrying stories and dreams wherever they went. The sun watched over them, proud of their courage and kindness. Together, they filled the sky with beauty, hope, and endless possibilities. Whenever you look up and see a cloud shaped like a bunny, a castle, or a heart, remember Nimbus and his wish to touch the sun. He may not have reached it, but he found something even more wonderful, the joy of shining together. And that, dear listener, is the story of Nimbus, the cloud who wanted to touch the sun, and the magic he discovered along the way. But the sky is vast, and every day brings new adventures. One spring morning, a gentle rain began to fall across the land. Nimbus and his friends gathered together, swirling and joining to form a soft grey blanket. Below, children donned raincoats and splashed in puddles, giggling as the drops danced around their feet. As the rain fell, the flowers lifted their faces, drinking in the water. Trees stretched their branches, and tiny seeds began to sprout. The world below was alive with the gift from the clouds. After the rain, the sun peeked out from behind the hills, sending beams of light across the sky. Suddenly, a rainbow appeared, arching from one end of the earth to the other. Nimbus and his friends shone with every colour, sparkling in the sunlight. Spritz gasped in delight. "Look, Nimbus, we're shining with the sun!" Nimbus smiled, his heart full. "Yes, Spritz. Sometimes when clouds and sun work together, we create something even more beautiful than we could alone." The children below pointed and cheered, marvelling at the rainbow. The clouds and the sun had brought magic to the world just by being themselves and sharing what they had. As the days went by, Nimbus continued to watch over the world, bringing rain when it was needed, shade when it was hot, and shapes to spark imagination. He knew that every cloud had a purpose, and every wish could lead to a new adventure. One autumn day, as the leaves turned golden red, Nimbus floated above a quiet town. He noticed a little girl sitting on her porch, looking sad. Her kite had gotten stuck in a tall tree, and she didn't know how to reach it. Nimbus felt a tug at his heart. He called Whirl the Wind, who swooped down and gently nudged the kite free. The little girl laughed as her kite danced across the sky, soaring higher and higher. Nimbus shaped himself into a friendly dog, wagging his tail of mist, and the girl waved in delight. Nimbus realized that even though he couldn't touch the sun, he could touch hearts. By helping, by caring, and by bringing a little bit of magic to every day. As winter approached, the clouds gathered close, wrapping the world in a soft, snowy blanket. Children built snowmen and made snow angels, and the trees sparkled with icicles. Nimbus watched as families came together, sharing warmth and stories. Nimbus knew that every season brought its own wonders. In spring, he brought rain. In summer, shade. In autumn, he watched the leaves dance. In winter, he brought snow. Each time he worked with the sun, the wind, and his fellow clouds to make the world a better place. One starry night, Nimbus floated quietly, gazing at the moon. Spritz joined him, and together they watched the stars twinkle. "Do you think the moon has dreams too?" Spritz asked. Nimbus thought for a moment. "I think everything in the sky has a dream. Some dreams are big, some are small, but all dreams help us grow." Spritz nestled close to Nimbus, feeling safe and happy. They listened to the gentle song of the night wind, knowing that tomorrow would bring new adventures. And so, Nimbus continued his journey, never forgetting his wish to touch the sun, but always finding joy in the gifts he could share. He knew that every cloud, every sunbeam, every drop of rain was part of a grand, beautiful story. Whenever you look up at the sky and see the clouds drifting by, remember Nimbus and his friends. They may be far away, but their magic touches us every day. In the rain that waters the earth, the shade that cools the summer, the snow that sparkles in winter, and the shapes that fill our dreams. The sky is a place of wonder, where dreams and wishes dance together, and in that great blue expanse, Nimbus shines, happy and proud, sharing the sun's light with the world. The end. But wait, every story can have a new beginning. Let's imagine what happened next. One bright morning, Nimbus noticed something unusual. A tiny cloud, no bigger than a puff of cotton, floating all alone. The little cloud looked lost and unsure, drifting away from the other clouds. Nimbus approached gently. "Hello, little one. Why are you all alone?" The tiny cloud sniffled. "My name is Fluff. I want to be big and strong like the other clouds, but I'm just small and wispy." Nimbus smiled kindly. "Everyone starts small, Fluff. I started as a little wisp too. But with time, friendship, and a bit of courage, you'll grow just right." Fluff brightened. "Really? Will you help me?" "Of course," said Nimbus. "Let's join a cloud parade." Nimbus gathered his friends, and together they floated across the sky in a grand procession. Fluff nestled among them, growing braver and more confident with every swirl. Below, people looked up and marveled at the cloud parade, pointing out shapes and colors. Fluff giggled, feeling proud to be part of something wonderful. Soon, Fluff grew bigger and fluffier, learning how to make rain for thirsty gardens and shade for sunny playgrounds. He discovered that every cloud, big or small, had a special role to play. Nimbus watched Fluff with joy, remembering his own adventures. He knew that every cloud's journey was unique, and every wish could lead to something amazing. As evening came, the clouds gathered to watch the sunset. The sun painted the sky with gold and purple, smiling down on Nimbus and his friends. Nimbus whispered to Fluff, "See that light? It shines on all of us. We may never touch the sun, but we carry its warmth wherever we go." Fluff nodded happily, feeling the gentle glow on his edges. And so, the clouds drifted on, sharing dreams, kindness, and magic with the world below. The sun watched over them, proud of every cloud, every wish, and every new beginning. Whenever you have a dream, remember Nimbus and Fluff. Even if your dream seems far away, every step you take brings you closer to something wonderful. And along the way, you'll meet friends, share laughter, and discover magic in the everyday. The sky is wide, and the world is waiting. Who knows what adventures tomorrow will bring? With courage, kindness, and a little bit of imagination, anything is possible. So the next time you see a cloud floating by, wave hello and make a wish. Maybe, just maybe, that cloud is Nimbus, carrying your dream across the sky, shining with the light of the sun. The story of Nimbus and the sun lives on, in every sunrise, every rainbow, and every gentle breeze. It's a story of hope, wonder, and the magic of believing in yourself. And as long as there are clouds in the sky, There will be dreams to chase, adventures to share, and hearts to touch. The end.